Good morning, fam. It's your girl, Miss Diva Trucker, and I'm coming to you today. I have two articles to read to you. Breaking news this morning. Formal, and this is coming from Transportation Nation. So I will leave the link in the description box if you would like to go and read it for yourself. But this is coming from transportationnation.com, okay? And breaking news is that former top Celadon executives arrested and charged with slew of crimes. Uh, look, trucking it. I mean, look, highway exec, you got out of there just in time, okay? Too bad we didn't get no money before everybody left, okay? In Indianapolis, Indiana, two former senior executive of the mega carrier was arrested on Thursday, so this was yesterday, after being indicted on a slew of fraud-related crimes, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. Let me give you a little bit of background about Celadon in case you all didn't know what was going on, okay? Celadon, what their biggest thing, what was happening to them was when everybody started to do bad, when everybody started to take losses and everything like that, Celadon was still acting like nothing was going on. They were still saying that their trucks was worth more than what it was. They were saying, they were sitting there telling the people that when you on the stock exchange, when you on the when you put yourself out there on the stock exchange, you have to report to your shareholders, you have to report to your investors, you have to report your earnings and things to them. And what they was doing was they was telling them that everything was all hunky-dory, nothing was going on, you know, business is booming and stuff like that. In actuality, it wasn't. The first sign of trouble is, if y'all don't remember, when I went back, I was over there, 3 years ago? When I went over there and they had the difference between Celadon and Eagle Transportation. Remember? And it was really strange to me that you had two separate companies in the same orientation. And the thing about Eagle was they were so slick. They would put up, they never handed you how much your deductions was, okay? What they did was they put the deductions on the screen. After that, he took it down and he put it in the folder. Their biggest, what they was doing was giving people new trucks, no credit check, all this kind of stuff, telling them it was going to be 75% of the load. And most of the drivers over there only made $1,000 a week, okay? And they were supposed to be on percentage. You could not, if you was at Eagle Transportation, you could not book a load from Celadon, which was crazy if they the same company and they, you know, brother and sister company, okay? And the biggest red flag was, if you over there working at Celadon for 72% of the load, why would you work at Eagle for 75? And you can't even run a freight, okay? And they hired everybody, okay? I don't care if you had a criminal background. I don't care if whatever the case may be, you was able to get on at Eagle. And you only needed 6 months experience, all right? So, and they could never justify why the money was coming up short. They never could justify why my check was always $400. It was never any more than $400. I don't care what you say, what you did, it was never more. How many loads you run, it was never more than $400. And they couldn't break it down in detail. They had one or two payroll people that never answered the phone, okay? Never answered the phone. And then you had to speak to the higher up of the company if you had a problem with your check, right? It was crazy. So at that time, I got a couple of Eagle drivers together so that we was going to do a class action lawsuit against Eagle Transportation, okay? Which was a part of Celadon at the time. We had a lawyer in Alabama. We was going to do what is called a tort case, okay? Well, we got all the drivers together and all that kind of stuff. What I did was let it go. I moved on because I didn't have We submitted all the documentation. The attorney signed on it and everything like that. Lost track of everybody. Moving back to KLLM, a lot was going on. I let it go. Okay. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, the former chief operating officer, the COO, and the chief financial officer, the CFO of Indianapolis-based trucking company Celadon, was charged for their alleged role in a complex securities and accounting fraud scheme that resulted in a loss of $60 million in shareholder value, the Department of Justice says. William Eric Meek, 39 years old, and Bobby Lee Pelvoller, 40 years old, both of Indianapolis, were each charged in an indictment filed in the Southern District of Indiana with one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, bank fraud, and securities fraud. Okay, 5 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of securities fraud. Security fraud, and that's the foreign exchange, that's the stock, that's the shareholders. Okay, that's lying to the shareholders, saying that you're making money and you ain't making money, not producing the numbers, the actual numbers. Okay, bank fraud, security fraud. Now, what you can't do is you can fraud your drivers. You can take advantage of your drivers, because less likely we're not going to do anything about it. But one thing you can't do is take advantage of, if you on the public market, as far as the shareholders, investors. You can't do that. That's a crime. 2 counts of false statement to public companies' accountants to falsify the books, the records, accounts of the public company, and 1 count of making false statements to the public company's accountants. Okay, this is all with the Celadon saying the trucks were more than what they was, and they wasn't. They depreciated in value. They wasn't showing the depreciation on the truck. Pamela was charged with an additional. Now this is the C. Which one is him? The C. Which one was charged? The CFO, I think it is. He was charged with additional 2 more counts. Okay, let's see. Of making false statements to a public company's accountant. Meek and Plever was arrested Thursday morning, according to Department of Justice officials. Both men appeared before the U.S. Judge Mark Dismore of the Southern District of Indiana, and they are now released out on bail. According to the indictment, by approximately 2016, okay, that's when I was over there, and others at Celadon knew the value of the portion of Celadon's trucks declined in value, in part to a slowdown in the trucking market. Okay, everybody's reporting their earnings and things like that. Celadon is still saying that they doing business as usual, and they was actually reporting more than what they was doing. In addition, many of those trucks were owned by quality companies. A division of Celadon has serious mechanical issues that made them unattractive to drivers, further depressing their value. Instead of accounting for this decline in truck values, Meek and Pevler and other alleged devised a scheme that caused Celadon to conceal tens of millions of dollars in losses to its shareholders, the banks, and the investing public. Okay, their scheme involved quality trading away hundreds of its older and unused trucks to a large truck dealer in exchange for newer used trucks. During the trades, they intentionally inflated the prices on the invoices associated with those trades, so Celadon's books would not reflect the fact that Celadon's trucks were worth significantly less than reported to investors and indictment alleges. Okay, although They were actually trades. Meek, Pebble, and other allegedly sought to portray the transactions as independent purchases and sales of trucks in order to avoid heightened scrutiny, prosecutors allege. Meek and Plevler also allege structure of one of the trades in an effort to artificially improve one of the Celadon's quarterly financial statements. When everybody else is doing bad, Celadon reports that they're doing good, okay? Quality received approximately $25 million from truck dealers just before the end of Celadon's fiscal quarter, which Celadon used to pay down its debt and appeared to be in compliance with certain lender agreements. So they was robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's what they were doing. Okay, that's called robbing Peter to pay Paul. When you ain't got money, you go borrow some money so you can pay the old debt that you have. Now you got two debts. Okay, Meek and Piva and others allegedly failed to disclose, however, that as a part of the deal, Quality had agreed to pay a similar amount of money back to the truck dealer 3 days after the quarter ended. Celadon's quarterly financial statements made no mention of this secret agreement, the indictment alleges. In late 2016 and early 2017, Celadon's independent auditors began to question about the truck trades that Meek and Pebbler and others had used to hide the drop in the truck value. They was asking about it, like how you, these used, how they worth so much? In response, Meek and Pebbler and others allegedly made false and leading statements to the auditors about the nature of the trade transactions, falsely denying they were trades and concealing the terms of these trades, including Quality's agreement to pay money back to the truck dealer shortly after the quarter ended. According to DOJ officials, Pebble has directed a senior executive and co-conspirator to delete certain emails after the auditor had made a request for relevant documents. In May 2017, Celadon announced that its financial statement issued for fiscal year 2016, which ended June the 30th, 2016, as well as the quarters ending September and December 2016, could no longer be relied on. Not could the related reports of independent auditors for those 3 time periods. So what people did was independent people came in and started auditing their records, and they was like, where's the money? This is not even real. Okay, so following this announcement, Celadon share prices dropped significantly, causing a 1-day loss in Celadon's market value of approximately $62 million. They dropped in share prices and lost $62 million in 1 day. Okay. In April 2019, Celadon itself entered into a deferred prosecution agreement with the government, under which it is obligated to pay restitution to the 42. Remember that $42.2 million? They said that they was in loss, and then magically a month later came up with $42 million. Child, they would just get money from everywhere. Somebody gave them $42 million to pay off the debt. Okay. These senior corporate executives of Celadon allegedly orchestrated a securities and accounting fraud scheme that misled shareholders, banks, accountants, and investing public, said Assistant Attorney General Brian whoever of the Justice Department Criminal Division. Through their scheme of lies, fraud, and misrepresentation and alleged indictment, Meek and Pepper damaged the integrity of the market. Okay? They damaged the integrity of the market. The corporation, its shareholders, and public investors, said U.S. Attorney Josh Mickler of Southern District of Indiana. The U.S. Attorney Office is committed to prosecuting those individuals in corporate America who choose to commit corporate fraud in violation of the federal law. The only reason Celadon got caught and is getting in trouble for this is because they was on the stock exchange market, and you cannot do that to your shareholders, your investors, your banks. None of that. They're not gonna let that fly, and you can't hide that money, that loss, because stupid, you can't hide it because they got independent people that's gonna come in there and audit you. You can't depend on your. How long did you think that was gonna last? Okay, you got over on us. You got over on the stupid little, and that's why I get so mad, because it's like these corporations and these companies, they will get over on us all day, every day, and we do not. They plan on us. They plan on us. I think what they're gonna do, in my opinion, because this is only my opinion, they're gonna restructure, and then they're gonna come back with a different name. That's in my opinion, okay? I think as far as drivers, I don't think not one driver should work for them. If you ever got a truck from Quality Carrier, turn it in, okay? If you ever, do not go by there. Do not. They are going to, it is a time and day. They going to stop taking advantage of these drivers and taking all their money and then leaving them out there where you homeless, you don't have a place to feed your family, you can't even make your ends meet, and everybody just sitting back like, oh well, yeah, we took all your money, and what now? You know what I'm saying? Like, the time and day, if we was able to come together as drivers and stop letting these large corporations take advantage of us. But in the trucking industry, you don't have to have a college education. You don't even have to have a GED, okay? They praying that you will get in at least uneducated. Praying. Yeah, well, quality is involved with Celadon. Well, it was, but they, it is what it is, okay? But what makes me angry now, the Securities Exchange, they bankrupt, whatever, and it's gonna be hard for them. Ain't nobody else is gonna give them any money to bail themselves out. Somebody just gave them the $42 million to get out the first hole. Now you back in the hole, and then you sit in line to your drivers, telling them that it's the best place you ever work. Okay, it's the best place you ever work. So they can depend on us, the drivers, to go out there and help them make their money back. And we ain't had nothing to do with that. Go out there and make us our money back. Come work for us. Go out there and make us our money back so we can get out the hole. When you wasn't concerned about helping the drivers out the hole, when they was coming to you telling you that their trucks was breaking down, when they was coming to you telling you that y'all was writing them letters telling them that they was behind on their payments, and then drivers didn't even have an account of what they did and what they didn't pay to Quality, so they just let them come pick up their truck. They just said, oh, you owe me some money, and if you don't pay such and such $1,000 by whatever time, we just gonna come get your truck, and then they gonna resell it at a higher value, and then you left with this debt because you don't put all this money into the truck that they resold and got the money back. What about your money? What about your money? Okay, and it's that they prey on the weak, and we as drivers are weak because we don't know any better. We don't know any better. We stick together. Look, don't go over there. But people was telling y'all for a long time. They was telling y'all, do not go get a truck from Quality. Do not go get a truck from Quality. Do not go get a truck from Quality. What we do, we go get a truck from Quality. It ain't gonna happen to me, right? It happened to everybody else, but not me. I'm going to go over there and get a truck anyway. Whatever happened to y'all ain't got nothing to do with me. We got to stop that, and we got to be smarter than that, and we got to stop letting people take advantage of us as drivers. Y'all, they prey on us because we don't know any better, and we out here working blood, sweat, and tears, out here working every day trying to keep these companies afloat, and there's no appreciation for it. None. Who finna bail out 60 something million dollars? The drivers? Is that who's finna help? Is that because the banks, the investors, the shareholders, they done. They done with you. You can't go get no money from them. So what's the thing now? We're pimping drivers now? If you over there, pack your stuff. And let me give you a little tidbit, okay? What's finna happen, all right? Let me give you a little tidbit for all of you that's over there at what's that company? USA Trucks. Sit back, brace yourself, okay? And I'm getting this off the stock market. When they reported that their earnings was $2,000, okay? How you come back from that? How you come back from that? You're going to have a lot of explaining to do with your shareholders, hopefully you ain't just now reporting a loss. Hopefully you've been reporting that loss, and hopefully them books are going to match up. Because when you go from making a profit, and then turn around and all of a sudden you ain't got but $2,000 to show for it, people got some questions. They want to know. They just not going to let that fly, okay? They not going to let that fly, okay? Not on your backs, drivers. Not on your backs. No, no, sir. No, sir. Y'all done said we done been through too much. We out here working hard every day. They didn't even issue an apology. They didn't say anything. They didn't issue an apology. They didn't say, we sorry this happened to you. We didn't say nothing. They didn't say nothing. People lost their house. People was behind. Their cars got repossessed. And they sat back. And didn't say anything. Didn't even come out with a statement of we apologize that all of this is happening to our drivers and nothing. They ain't gonna say nothing. But we want to be dedicated. This is what you want to work for. Knowing that the first thing that happened, they gonna be for themselves. Ain't nobody gonna be for the driver. Don't nobody care about the driver. If your light bill get paid next month, could nobody care. Stop being so invested. Stop being so invested in people that's not invested in you. Oh well. All right, let's move on. The next thing I wanted to talk to you all about is, if you have not heard, yesterday, a UPS driver was shot. Let's see. Let me get this story for you. According to CBS 12 News out of Miramar, Florida, UPS driver killed in armed robbery, chase, and shootout, identified as a young father, okay? Family members and friends are mourning the loss of a UPS driver and a young father, killed after being taken hostage by two armed robbers in Miramar. Okay, this happened yesterday. WFOR reported the name of the driver as Frank Ordonis, one of four people killed in the incident. His brother told CBS Miami he'd been a driver with UPS for the past 5 years. However, Thursday, Ordonis' first day as a UPS driver, so it was his first day. He leaves behind 1-year-old daughter. The ordeal began as an armed robbery and possible shooting at Regent Jewel in Coral Gables on Thursday afternoon. A female employee suffered from injuries in the armed robbery. Police said that the armed robbery suspects then carjacked a UPS truck as the driver was making deliveries, okay? You know, this is Christmas time, and you need to be always watching your back, because there are a lot of robberies going on during this time of year. The police chase ended in with the armed robbery suspect, and police exchanged gunfire on Miramar's Parkway, just west of the Flamingo Road, according to CBS Miami. So our hearts and prayers was with the family of the UPS driver that lost his life yesterday during the armed robbery. Okay. Another thing, what else is going on? What else I wanted to tell y'all? Right now, it's an active shooting in Pensacola, Florida, at the Navy base. Okay, they're saying that some people are reported taken to the hospital, and if I'm not mistaken, some people have been. Let's see if I can find that. I used to live in Pensacola, so that's why, that kind of concerned me. I used to live in Pensacola, Florida. So, yeah, shooting at the Naval Air Station in Pensacola. At least 2 people are dead and multiple people are injured, okay? You can read up on that if you want to on NBC News or U.S. News. That's where that is. And last but not least, I do want to... last but not least, I did want to speak on one thing. I did see Shape World 15's video. Okay, if y'all haven't seen that video, please go and check it out. I was very saddened about what happened to her, especially us being out here on the road. It seemed like watching the video, she had was tired, pulled over to get some rest, and she had only been there 5 hours, and she was woken. She was awakened by I guess the parking person, and he was getting on to her because she didn't pay for parking and letting her know that it was a paid parking. Only thing that she had on her was a debit card. She said, so since she don't have cash, she was going to go ahead and leave. She apologized. She didn't see the sign or whatever the case may be. Now, after that, the man jumped on her hood. She said that the man jumped on her hood. He came up on her doorstep. She said that he even admitted to flatten her tire. Okay, so I want to say, if you don't go over there, if you go over there, look at that video, because ladies, I want you to be mindful of your surroundings. And another thing is, she did everything right. Okay, the first thing that she did was she did not get out of her truck. Okay, she locked her doors and she called the police. Okay, whenever you are in a situation where somebody is verbally attacking you, or even doing something to your truck, or maybe your airline hose, or whatever the case may be, it's on Shape World 15. Okay, I don't think it was she didn't show. She was talking about, she was in tears. You can tell that she was very emotionally upset, and mindfully so, because if somebody was out here jumping on my truck, jumping up in the window, we're not a lot armed or anything like that, and you really, unless they come through the window, you can't get out there and have an altercation with somebody. Okay, you always got to remember to protect yourself, and the safest way is to be in that truck, lock that door, call the police. Okay, and that's exactly what she did. She sat in her truck. She was on the phone with the police when she was videotaping. Okay, we hate, especially when it's somebody that we know, that we are out here that do YouTube videos and things like that, and when it happens to one of us, it's really like a wake-up call. Okay, but I'm thankful that she's okay. And I'm thankful that, she's a little upset, which is rightfully so. But I'm just glad that nothing happened to her, because it could easily go wrong at any time. But she did the right thing. And if you look at the video, that's what you need to do. Do not get out that truck. Don't interact with anybody that is being outside that truck aggressive. Okay, because the moment you step outside that truck, you're placing yourself in a worse situation. Okay, if he takes it upon himself to jump on a truck, or if he takes it upon himself to jump on your your walk, or put your tire on flat. It's Shape World is a female. Um, she's a female driver. She's been doing YouTube videos for a while, been out here on the road. And, we try to keep ourselves safe at all times, but every now and then these things do happen to you, okay? But she did everything right as far as keeping herself in the cab and locking her doors and waiting on the police to get there, okay? All because of a simple mistake of her parking somewhere that they charge for parking. She didn't have the money to pay for it, because we don't carry cash. Shape World, yeah. We don't carry cash with us, because we could be robbed. So we don't have cash on us. A lot of drivers don't carry cash, okay? So they have their debit or credit card or whatever the case may be to use for whatever they need, okay? It could have went way left, and I'm glad that it didn't. I think she's going to do another video explaining everything that's done happened. But yeah, keep yourself safe. I mean, this is the holiday season, and always, always, always keep them doors locked. And if somebody is being aggressive to you outside of that truck, because you really have to be careful. Somebody says stay strapped or whatever the case may be, but you can't jump out. You can't jump out your truck, okay? And and because it's always your word against that person, and always have documentation. You want to videotape, which she did, okay? That's why we tell y'all to have dash cams in front of your truck, so if anybody is doing anything, that they will if anybody is doing anything, it will catch it on the dash cam, okay? Because a lot of times, if you're in a situation where it's your word against their word, they could say that you was the aggressor, and there's no way to prove it any differently, you standing outside the truck, okay? Another thing is, you can get in trouble if you jump outside the truck, supposedly you had like a stun gun or a taser or whatever. If I take the initiative and jump out the truck and go after this person and tase them or whatever, that can come back on you, okay? So you always want to be safe. If that person doesn't come into the cab of the truck, you don't get outside the cab of the truck. You wait to say everything that you got to say in front of the police officer, okay? And always document. The first thing, we all got phones. Document who this person is, what they're doing at the time. You just stay safe and stay in the truck, okay? But I did want to touch on that and let y'all know, I'm sorry that happened to you. I could tell how emotional that you was, and I just, it's bad, all over because someone did not, all over because of a paid parking spot, okay? So you want to get that documentation. Other than that, I got to go pick up my load. You all, peace, love, joy, and happiness, and y'all have a wonderful and blessed day.